And I get asked the question from time to time, how come you never review anything? Well, there's several reasons for that. The first one is down there, 140 something subscribers, and I'd bet my house on the fact that not one of those 140 something people is a manufacturer, importer or dealer of motorcycles, so they're not noticing me, which means they're not offering to give me bikes to test out and abuse for a day or a couple of days or a week or whatever. Another issue is I do tend to say it how I see it, and some of them might not take too kindly to that. I mean, I'm not going to have a go about anything in particular now. Well, one thing I'll slate in a moment, but just the one, and that's because I've got direct experience of it. But I'm not going to say too much about anything else, what it looks like, or the little rides I have had on some bikes, because I don't want to scupper my chances in the future. You never know. There might be a load of people look at this and think, oh, this bloke's good, we'll keep watching his films. I'm not holding my breath. But the one, I think it was a couple of videos ago, 2 or 3 ago, a friend of mine had this little 50cc Chinese supermoto that had been sitting in somebody's shed. And he said to me, can you get it running? Well, it didn't come with a key, and the ignition switch was trashed. The engine did spin over, it was free. And so I got into it a bit, and the build quality was shocking, it really was. I'm not sure what the engine was a copy of. I think it was possibly Aprilia or maybe Cagiva. It wasn't Japanese, I'm fairly sure. I mean, it was definitely a Chinese bike, but I'm fairly sure that the engine was a copy of something Italian. But quality-wise, it was a pretty poor copy. Anyway, the only way I could get it to run, and only for a split second, well, maybe 5 seconds, was to squirt Easy Start down the air inlet, because everything was wrong with it. So basically in the end I said, I can get it to run, but the thing's a nail, and if you paid any more than 20 quid for it, you were ripped off. And he hasn't spoken to me since, and I've still got the thing cluttering up my my garage. So that may well end up getting stripped and made into trophies or something. I reckon he's forgotten about it, conveniently. Look at that, blinded by the sunshine. And it is the end of January, and there's a bloody great big traffic jam here. What's this about? So yeah, I can report from direct experience of that bike. I can't remember the make of it. It was some Chinese thing that I'd never heard of before, and it was basically terrible quality. I mean, the Japanese early on, before I ever rode bikes, sort of in the back end of the 1950s and the early 60s, they were inclined to copy, at the time, British designs, and they used cheap materials, so they weren't of great quality, the early ones weren't, but the Japanese didn't stop there. They actually developed on their designs and sort of carried on making them better and better until such time they led the world. And it's only in relatively recent years that the Italians and the Brits have sort of got their arse into gear and started to compete back with the Japanese. I'm not sure that the Chinese possess the imagination that the Japanese did. We'll see. I'll probably have given up riding motorbikes by then. And that's talking about giving up. It's not really anything to do with giving up, but one of the reasons I'm going to look after this bike and the CCM and any subsequent bike that I end up buying is because I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to go electric. So I'm sticking with internal combustion probably until the day I hang my riding boots and crash helmet up. I kind of get electric bikes if you're commuting in the middle of a city or a big town, but for the kind of use that I give a bike, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Right, my fuel light's just come on, so there'll be a fuel stop involved in today's journey.